Shut Up I'm Talking presents Shit Movie Review with Matt Powers and Larry King Guy.
This movie is shit.
We're here for a Shit Movie Review.
Yes.
This time the movie is Street Asylum,
Hey.
directed by Gregory Dark.
You should never get another job directing ever again.
Let's not foreshadow.
Oh, okay.
Like, I guess Shit Movie Review kind of gave it away.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And now this one is starring the one and only, the greatest of all time, Wings Hauser.
All right, don't build him up too much.
You can't build him up too much. You know, he's not just an actor.
No, of course not.
Nor is he just a pretty face.
Is he a millionaire philanthropist? No.
He's also a musician and singer.
Ooh, I did not know that.
You can go on YouTube. I have it up right here. I won't play it because it's, it's
Thank you.
copyright. He put out an album in 1975.
Did he really?
Now, he didn't go by Hauser. Hauser, I hardly knew her. He went by...
He went by Doogie.
Ahead of his time. I don't know how to pronounce this. Livin' right. Oh, Livin' right. Oh, that's lame.
It is.
Livinryte. Wings Livin' Right. Jesus, what an asshole. Well, anyway, he put out this album called Your Love Keeps Me Off the Streets.
No. Well, I will take your word for it because I will never listen to that.
Listen, for he would be a C-list actor, wouldn't he? Or would he be B? Let's give him B.
No, he's D-list if he's lucky.
No.
Yes.
You can't be the star of a movie and be D-list, can you?
Yeah, you can.
It got wide release, this movie.
Okay. All right.
Well, at least one of the movie theaters had a wide screen.
Okay.
But yeah, he had an album in 1975. That kind of tells you how old he is now. He'd give a run for, say, a Bruce Willis album?
I would say he's more of a Don Johnson. Or even a, what's his name from Baywatch?
Oh, David Hasselhoff.
There you go. He's a monster.
Yes. There you go. I was going to say you're a little off with Don Johnson because Wings Hauser is so handsome compared to Don Johnson. But yes, I think David Hasselhoff, that's a perfect comparison.
Thank you.
Except Wings Livin' Right. Jesus. He only put out the one album. This will tell you something. Guess who he dedicated the album to?
I don't know.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Are you serious? Oh, okay.
Now you know why it was made.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard. That's horrible.
I just read that. I didn't even realize that until just now.
L. Ron Hubbard. We've heard it all now. 1975.
Yeah. How old are you then? Like 20?
Ah. Yeah. I just graduated college that year. And people ask me, man, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing? I said, well, because I look for the best in humanity, and I very rarely find it.
Haven't found in Larry King Guy yet.
Nope.
There's still hope.
Jeez.
All right, well, that's Wings Hauser. He's the star of the movie.
If you can call it that. You could I could get some kids off the street and my phone and make a better movie than this.
Now, at the end of this, we're going to rate it. We're going to give, I guess, like a 1 to 10.
Oh, okay.
But don't do it now. It's going to be a little surprise for you around that one.
Is it?
Mm.
Now you're going to change my mind? I don't know.
Maybe. Another guy, the opening of the movie begins with this character actor, Brian James. Everybody knows him. As soon as you see his face, you know exactly who Brian James is.
He was Leon in Blade Runner.
Right.
He didn't know what a turtle was, which gave him away.
He didn't know what a turtle was because he thought it was Godzilla.
Yeah. You know what?
How many episodes can we use that in?
I don't know.
The Fifth Element, one of my favorite movies, Cabin Boy. It was Chris Elliott.
Oh, yeah, that was a good movie.
Tango and Cash.
Okay, I don't remember that.
He said excitedly. 48 Hours. Another 48 Hours.
No.
And
Is he dead?
Yes, he is.
Is he really?
Long dead.
Well, that's too bad.
Long dead. So, and I'm reading this. This might be one of the saddest things
What killed him?
I've read. We'll get to it.
This movie?
No, he lived 10 more years.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that is unfortunate. Okay.
So I read this just a few minutes ago. This is sad.
No, I almost sound sincere.
Nobody's buying it.
Oh, he's dead. I'm so sorry.
And then this is a quote from 1999, August 1999. And he's talking about acting and how he learned the craft and how to build a character. So here's the quote. I know now in my 50s with Robert Duvall, Albert Finney, and Gene Hackman, those guys are getting up there. It's my time, and I'm making sure that I push myself into their slot, so my best work's coming. Now, I'm not joking. Within days, he died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
August 7th, 1999.
That sucks.
The worst part is he's been rotting in hell ever since.
No. See, that's wrong.
Yeah, I know. So, all right, next on the list, Lisa Robbins. She plays Bernie, the prostitute. She was in The Rum Diaries. That's a Johnny Depp vehicle.
Never saw it.
That 70s Show. And, of course, Street Asylum. Long storied career. Next we have Harry Hart Brown, a hyphenated last name. I think it's always weird when a man has a hyphenated last name. Why don't you choose one?
Exactly.
He played Alfie the Transvestite, who I think plays a very important role in this movie, even though it's a small part. He was also on, Seinfeld, 1991, L.A. Law, Night Court, Hill Street Blues. We're going backwards now.
And not in a good one.
Yeah, and that's it. Next we have James Bolt, and he played Teen Jesus. He was also in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Really? As what? As who?
Greg.
Greg?
Yeah, don't you remember Greg?
Oh, yeah, I do. He was the blonde-headed guy with glasses, and he was the one that got Hamilton fired from the burger place.
Oh, okay. I know who that is.
What happened to him? He's doing this kind of stuff.
Well, it work.
I guess.
Then we have Roberta Vasquez. Now, she plays Kristen.
The girlfriend, right?
Yes, the girlfriend of Sergeant Arliss Ryder. Now, I'm not going to bother with her biography here, her filmography, because it's not much. She is best known, and this was before the movie, she was the centerfold in Playboy in November 1984.
Yes.
And I've been trying to find pictures, and all I can find are teasing shots of cleavage. Just think it's wrong. Show them titties.
That's right.
And they tease you in the movie because in one scene, she's coming out of the bedroom and she's naked, but you can't really see. And then she picks up a sheet that's for some reason in the middle of the fucking hallway. And then she covers up like a bitch.
Don't you leave your sheets in the hallway? That's where I put mine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, always. Strewn out all across the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't fold shit. All right. Next is Marie Chambers. She played Dr. Weaver Kane. She was the doctor for the police force there, yeah. She had her own little clinic where they would take the various police officers. I have figured out a certain something about her character that I think is going to surprise you, but we'll get to that later on.
She's a man.
No. No, pretty sure.
She was a man.
No.
Started out that way, but didn't finish.
She was in The Bonfire of the Vanities, 1990.
Never saw it.
Columbo. I'm just going to guess that's a reboot because it was 1991.
Yeah. Babylon
5.
I have seen that.
Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah, I have seen that.
And The X-Files.
I've seen that too. Wow. Now somebody I can recognize.
Next is Alex Cord.
Him I know from his multiple appearances on Love Boat and Fantasy Island.
Now, see, I'm about to wreck your recollection of life.
Why?
There's no mention of that in his biography.
Well, he was there, trust me, many times.
Long career. He died August 8, 2021 at age 88.
Good for him.
So his career spanned from 1961 all the way to 2009.
And he was on the Love Boat. And,
it's not mentioned in his biography.
You know what? I'm telling you.
Laramie Ben Casey. Bob Hope presents the Chrysler Theater. Gunsmoke, Mission Impossible, The FBI, Police Story, Police Woman.
Hey, Pepper Johnson.
The $6 Million Man.
Another great show.
Oh, here it is. The Love Boat.
No, see, how dare you call me a liar?
I didn't. I said you were wrong. He played Hank Weller and Mr. Barnett. Yeah, six episodes. I stand corrected again. Here's Fantasy Island. Here, he played 3 different characters. Paul Horner, Captain Juan Arguello, and Ramos. R-A-hyphen-M-A-S. He was also in Airwolf, Murder, She Wrote, Simon and Simon, Freddy's Nightmares, the TV series, Jake and the Fat Man.
Hey
now.
These are the upper echelon TV shows.
Kung Fu, The Legend Continues.
Another great show.
Here's one he had to be in, Walker, Texas Ranger. I like any TV show that has a comma in the title. And then some other stuff I've never heard of. All right, so that's Alex Cord. Hey, he's the Cordiest. Next we have Jesse Doran.
Jesse Doran.
He played Detective Stoddard.
Yes.
His career goes from 1979 when he was in The Incredible Hulk.
Hey.
And he played a very important role in that episode, Vendetta Road, 1979. He played guard.
There you go.
Charlie's Angels, he had a character with an actual name. Fantasy Island, Staying Alive. He played Mark. You remember Mark. Hill Street Blues. Cat's Eye. Well, that was a movie, right? That was a Stephen King movie. Wise Guy.
That was a good show.
All My Children. Sequest 2032. Law and Order Special Victims Unit. And Anything But Love, whatever the fuck that was. Oh, and here's I don't know if it's a TV show or a movie. It's called Heart, and his character's name was Diddy, ahead of his time. Next on the list, Cy Richardson. He played Joker Tatum. So he has a long career here, lots of credits. 1977 to 2020. Nothing of note. Wow, it's a lot of nothing. Well, that's enough of him. Who gives a shit? Anyway, he played Joker Tatum. Next on the list, Jesse Aragon. He played Raton, and he died shortly before the movie was released, before Street Asylum was released.
What happened to him?
He died.
What did he die of? Oh, something.
Full-blown death.
Yeah. He just suddenly stopped breathing one day and wouldn't start. Oh, he missed his greatest role.
He missed it. And he was working from 1977 on. He was in Beretta, The White Shadow.
Good show.
Barney Miller. Different Strokes. Quincy.
No.
M.E. Knight Rider. Sledgehammer. Remember that one?
Yes, I do. That was good.
And that's it. We're going to save the best for last. This gentleman, unfortunately, died in 2021. 90 years old when he died. The one and only G. Gordon Liddy. He plays Police Chief Jim Miller in Street Asylum.
I didn't know he was the police. I couldn't understand what his job was.
He's police chief. He was running for mayor.
Oh, yeah.
But he had a pretty good acting career for an FBI agent. He was in Airwolf, Miami Vice, The Highwaymen, The New Adventures of Beans Baxter, Superforce, the TV movie, and the TV series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Late Line, 18 Wheels of Justice. Can you believe that only lasted 2 seasons?
I never heard of it, so yeah, I am surprised.
I remember hearing the name. I believe it was a gentleman who was driving a tractor trailer.
Oh.
So that's the full list of the main characters in Street Asylum. I found a succinct summary of the movie. I thought we'd put this in front, and then we'll start discussing it, and then maybe start talking about some scenes.
All right.
All right. Street Asylum, 1990. This cop isn't losing his mind. It's being taken from him. In the bleak near future, Los Angeles has become a dangerous war zone with cops pitted against assorted law-breaking lowlifes. Sergeant Arliss Ryder has an electronic device put into his back that turns him into an out-of-control psychotic killer, put out on the Strike Squad, an acronym for Scum Quelling Assault Urban Division, which is a unit of crazed cops assigned by Captain Bill Quinton to rid the City of Angels of criminals by any means necessary. The only problem is that Arliss discovers what's going down and decides to put a stop to all this madness. I think it's a fair enough summary.
Yeah, that's good enough.
What about the movie struck you? What were you thinking about when you were thinking about discussing this?
My first question is, why am I watching this again? Because this is the worst garbage I've ever seen.
Oh, come on.
It's confusing. I don't know. I don't even know what the plot is.
Nice. I have an advantage because I've watched it at least 15 times.
Yeah, and I could barely get through it the second time.
And every time I watched it, I'm not going to say it made it good, but I understood the movie a little bit more. Like I say, if you watch it one time, it's a piece of shit and you laugh at it and you move on. But if you watch it for some odd reason, multiple times, it begins to make a little more sense. It's still not a good movie, but it's not as bad as it seems watching it one time.
Okay.
All right, so the movie opens like this. It starts off with the street preacher, played by Brian James, right?
Yes.
Now, I ain't no sissified preacher. I am just an old-fashioned, heaven-sent, sin-killing, blood-bought, God-given, Jesus-loving preacher. And I have come to save your soul.
And I think he plays a pivotal role. I think he is one of the main characters in the movie, even though he's only on screen for maybe a minute and a half. But his character, I think, is vitally important to the entire movie. And then it goes into the opening credits. And the opening credits have G. Gordon Liddy delivering this speech, kind of setting the stage for the movie.
We are facing a crisis. Our streets are overrun by thieves, homosexuals, drug dealers, prostitutes, pornographers, scum. And it'll get worse before it gets better. But it will get better if you and I and every decent citizen strike back. Fellow citizens, in the name of decency, let us strike back.
And then you just see the video of bad things happening in a city. And then it goes into nighttime on a street corner, on a long street. And up pulls Sergeant Arliss Ryder. And he is an apathetic cop. He doesn't really give a shit. He's just going through the motions. And there's some prostitutes, and he calls one over, and that's where he meets Bernie. He lets her put her spiel, like trying to get him to bang her.
A little out of your territory tonight, sweetheart.
That's right, baby.
Well, keep it moving, baby.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry, I forgot. Don't walk the decent people's streets. Just suck their decent
All right,
little
look,
cocks.
listen. Do me a favor. Take it on down.
Maybe you'd like to take it down with me. Call me Bernie. Because I'll burn you down. Come on, don't you want some of this? Doesn't it look good? Come on, baby, you know you want it. Ooh, it feels so good. Come on, baby.
Then he gets out of his police cruiser, and he goes, I really don't want to arrest you, so just move it along. And so she goes down. He walks down the street, and there's some more prostitutes. He moves them along. And then he comes to an alleyway, and he hears some noise, and he puts a spotlight, and he sees this couple in the alleyway fucking. And he just turns the light off, smiles, and walks away.
Yeah.
Right, next, we meet Alfie the transvestite. Now, when did we stop using the term transvestite? I haven't heard that in at least a decade.
I don't know. You're absolutely right. Why can't you say tranny?
Well, tranny, would that be transvestite? I thought tranny was transgender.
I don't know.
You wouldn't call Corporal Klinger from MASH transgender or whatever. He's a transvestite.
Yeah, he's a tranny. That was the whole joke. He was a tranny.
Well, let's look. I want to know what tranny stands for, really. Because if it's just transvestite, I mean, tranny. Transgender, yeah. Tranny is a term for a transgender individual. Yeah. So I think transvestite is just transvestite.
So wherein lies the problem? I don't understand.
There have to still be transvestites.
These are questions that I can't answer. They're too complex. I don't know. They used to just call them gay.
But they're not. Klinger wasn't gay.
Sense. What? Get out of here. He most certainly was.
Klinger?
Yeah, of course.
He marries a Korean woman at the end of the series.
Yeah, and what was her name?
What the fuck's that make a difference?
Yeah, her name was Beard. Okay.
Get out of here. Nothing gay about Klinger. No, it was Radar. He's gay.
Radar, yeah, he was gay too.
He's fucking that teddy bear.
He had a deformed hand.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I saw a picture of him. He was on the Battle of the Network Stars, and he had it was like a club. I was like, wow, I didn't know they let him have weapons. Oh, no, that was his hand.
They hated him, too.
Who?
All the people on MASH, yeah. Apparently he was just an asshole when he left. Thank goodness. I'm watching, a few months ago, I was watching on YouTube, it was Password. And so he gives an answer, and Gene Rayburn gives him a little shit.
Yeah.
And he literally goes, Gene, the only reason I'm on here is because you needed somebody and I was available. I don't have to be here.
Right on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It was the best part of the show. That was a piece of shit game show. Not Password. What was the one where they had the
match
game? That was garbage. Yes. That was a piece of shit. It was Gene Rayburn who would do some stupid voice. He was always horrible at it.
Count Dracula said, Washington, D.C. is a dangerous place. Last night, the man from the blank tried to suck my blood.
He'd set him up for the joke, and then it was about 2 minutes of crosstalk as all the celebrities spoke to one another and ignored Gene as he kept talking.
Yeah.
And then it was one lame joke after another. It's like you just give the real answer and then wait for Charles Nelson Riley to make everybody laugh. He was the only fucking funny one on there.
Yeah.
Except for Betty White. She had some good lines. She was still fucking Alan Ludden at the time, so.
Well, why wouldn't she? They were married.
Well, yeah, he got elderly before she did. Maybe.
Nah.
She was still
rude.
ripe.
Everything is rude.
I wonder when the last time she got dick was.
Oh. Who was president?
I'm going to guess Obama. She had nothing but money. She could get a prostitute.
Okay. All right. We've already gone too far on
She would say, give me a mushy dick like Alan did.
No.
Mush it.
Mush it.
Oh, the great, what was her name?
Don't forget to cry. What?
Before, during, and after.
Yeah.
Betty White. She was number one on your list of the celebrities you would fuck out of the Golden Girls.
Really? Yeah, I'd already forgotten about that, but yeah, she was.
I disagreed with your list, but she was at the top of the list there. If I had to put that list together, yeah, she would definitely be number one. At the age of her death, too. I would take Betty White at 99 over B. Arthur on her best day.
That's not good. It's not. That is not a ringing endorsement for anything.
And after Betty White at 99, I would fuck an old shoe before I fucked B. Arthur.
B. All right, well, let's get back to all that.
Is there any joy in your life? You fuck. Let's get back to it so we can get this bullshit over with. That's all I heard. Lord.
Get some dinner in a little bit. I got shit to do.
Every time we record, it's 5 hours. Why are you planning for anything after this?
I don't know, but I forgot to eat beforehand, so now I go.
Well, that's on you.
I know. Didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying.
You should know better by now.
And yet, I don't.
All right, so we're going to get to the main scenes that introduce the characters and kind of propel us on to the main action.
Gotcha.
Then we have Alfie the transvestite. Now, Alfie...
You can't call gay.
Well, I don't know if he's gay.
Well, you're not allowed to say that anymore for some reason.
Well, I don't know if you can't say it. It just isn't said.
Know. Why isn't it said?
Maybe transvestites just aren't very vocal about being transvestites.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Ask a transvestite. Hey, if we have any transvestite listeners, drop us an email or a voicemail. Let us know what's up.
Yeah.
So when Sergeant Ryder is driving along or actually he's parked, and here comes Alfie the transvestite, all hysterical, running up, wah, wah, just falls onto the ground.
Oh, God. Oh, God. The Eden building is going to hurt himself.
Who?
All of us. Everybody, sooner or later. We're all going to hurt
right. Get out of the street. Get out of the street.
And completely directs to the very specific building where Sergeant Ryder should go. He drives over to this building and he sees this guy on the roof. And he calls it in. He goes, I've got a mental, and gives the address. And they say, there's no backup. It's going to be 15 minutes. So he goes up the stairs and he finds Teen Jesus. Now, Teen Jesus, and I don't believe he was in his teens, but he has been crucified on a TV antenna.
Yes.
And it seems like he could take those hands off anytime he wanted.
I didn't even think he was tied. I just thought he was holding on to it.
No, he's crucified. His hands, it was poked straight through his hands.
I missed that too. I don't know.
I really look into some Ritalin. Need to focus, man.
I'd focus fine.
Mm-hmm. So he comes upon Teen Jesus on the roof, and he's, muttering nonsense. And then Ryder moseys on up to him. And at first, the Teen Jesus goes, "Nah, get out of here. I don't need you." And he starts to leave. Ryder starts to leave. And then he goes, "Wait, I have to piss." No, he said, "I have to take a leak." And that part I found to be interesting, that he would willingly be crucified on a TV antenna, but urinating himself is beyond the pale.
Well, yeah.
So not only does Sergeant Ryder take the guy's hands away from the TV antenna, but for some odd reason, he's carrying gauze and just wraps the guy's hands up.
Yeah, that was odd. He just already had a bandage wrapped on.
And then the Teen Jesus goes, "Well, I can't unzip." So Ryder walks over there, and apparently he's not just going to unzip, he's going to take the guy's dick out.
Yeah, and shake it.
He's going to hold it the whole time. Maybe give it a little love tap. I don't know what's going to go on.
You're all right, man.
And that's when the gunman, who you briefly see crossing the street and going into the building, he appears on top of the building, right where Teen Jesus and Ryder are. And that's when Teen Jesus sees him and goes, "No!" and pushes Ryder out of the way.
No!
And he takes the first shot and falls off the building. And then Ryder takes the second shot because he's laying on the roof, writhing in pain, going, "Oh, I'm shot."
1L50, I'm hit. I'm hit. God.
Which is a common theme. Anytime somebody's hurt in this movie, they just tell you how they were hurt while they're in pain. And then the gunman moseys on off, never to be seen again.
Yeah, and they never tell you who it is.
They do. You're not paying attention.
When did they tell you who it was?
We'll get to it. They absolutely do.
This is crazy.
They 100% do.
Listen. I don't remember any of this.
So after this, we're in the medical clinic of Dr. Weaver Kane. And that's another thing I don't get about the movie. They go out of their way to make sure you know the complete name of everybody involved. That could have easily been Dr. Kane. Who gives a shit what her first fucking name is? It had nothing to do with anything.
Makes about as much sense as everything else in this movie.
So Kristen, the girlfriend of Sergeant Ryder, Wings Hauser, is seated right next to him. He's on the examination table on his stomach. He comes to and he starts pawing at Kristen, and she's, doing the sexy talk, and then Dr. Kane goes, hey, knock it off. Explains, what happened, and Teen Jesus is dead. And then Ryder rolls over to admonish the doctor for being a stiff. And that's when Kristen notices this wound in his back, in his lower back.
Now I can't wait to get you home in bed.
If you don't mind.
It's okay. Got plenty of time for that. They didn't get me where it counts.
What counts is your value to this department.
Look, lady, you think you could lighten up?
Jesus. What happened here?
It's superficial. I'm willing to let you take him home today, but you must abstain from any kind of unnecessary activity.
And they just let it go. So then they leave the clinic, and that's when we're introduced to Precinct Captain Quinton.
Yes.
I guess they're supposed to be teenagers that are walking up this street smoking cigarettes or something. And Quinton opens the door purposely to slam it against them and fuck with them, and they walk away. And it was just, he walks up to Ryder and Kristen and goes,
Scum, it's everywhere.
Can I help you?
Bill Quinton, Sergeant Ryder. I'm your new precinct captain. Sorry I missed you at the clinic.
This is my friend Kristen.
Hello?
Very nice to meet you.
Listen, I'm gonna go inside and run you a hot bath.
Quinton, right? Used to head up Strike Squad.
I still do.
Captain, I just got shot. I sure as hell don't want to get killed.
Sergeant, I'm not going to bullshit you. We're the most effective anti-crime force in the city, and it's high risk, but nobody takes better care of their men than I do. And when you're in Strike Squad, anything you want, you got.
You know what I want? I want the son of a bitch who shot me. That's what I want, Captain.
Sergeant, don't waste your time with
Don't
that.
you waste your time. That's what I want, and that's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get the bastard.
I'll make you a deal. You join Strike Squad, and I'll get you anything you need to find that scumbag. And what's more, I'll give you my protection.
Captain, I got this hot bath and this beautiful lady waiting for me inside.
Right. When I get a good cop, I want to keep him.
Well, think about it.
This scene in the outside when Quinton introduces himself, two things that I found odd. One, Ryder is there with Kristen. Kristen is fucking hot.
All right, I'll give you that. Yeah, okay.
And what does Ryder do? He introduces her to Quinton by going, "Oh, this is my friend." And then when she leans in to kiss him, he purses his lips and gives her like a partial kiss, and then kind of smiles embarrassingly to Quinton as if, like he's a fucking 12-year-old. It was weird.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, she says to him, "I'm going to go draw you a hot bath." The guy has 2 open wounds.
Yeah, that's right. How's he going to do that?
His stomach and his lower back. How does this work? Can you imagine the water, L.A. water, getting into those wounds?
Some frontier justice right there.
Here, bite on this stick, and I'm going to pour some whiskey in after the bath.
Exactly. I forgot about that. You're not septic yet.
And this is the scene where Quinton is giving him the hard sell on joining Squad. Yeah. And he says some things which are provably false as you watch the movie. He goes, "Nobody takes care of their men better than me." And this guy turns his back on one cop after another without a thought and then goes, "Boo-hoo, I'm sad."
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Because that's how it works on the tough streets. And here's something I don't understand.
Yeah.
The guy gets shot on the roof and falls off the roof.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, what is it, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, you see him in the jail cell?
No. That was the transvestite. Guy. Teen Jesus is shot and falls off the roof.
Right.
Alfie the transvestite.
Wearing a dress.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't?
No. Remember, he wanted to be a rock star. He wanted to be the Guns N' Roses or something of Little Rock. That's what he wanted.
I was going to be so good when I came up from Little Rock, man. Like Van Halen, man, like the best. The Van Halen of Little Rock. But I got into the life. Started working the streets. Couldn't get out. But then I'm saying I'll be forgiven in his true name. You know, man. Right. Go on.
No, he was dressed up like a rock star or something. It was Alfie the transvestite who you saw in the later scene in the jail cell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, wearing the exact same outfit.
Yeah, and
he obviously was in disguise.
After that, we have a great scene with the fantastic G. Gordon Liddy and the art student dominatrix. So he has this dominatrix come over, and she's what, late teens, early 20s? I guess early 20s. She starts muttering nonsense about art school and blah, 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 and then she goes, "Oh, I'm talking too much." And then she tries to go into the dominatrix scene, and obviously...
and she wasn't nasty enough.
Chief of Police Miller, he was having none of it.
"And you've offended me, you unworthy insect. Now you must be punished. Stick out your hand."
Come on, you're not hurting
Bad
me.
slave! I didn't give you permission to speak.
Harder, bitch, harder.
What? What was that you called me?
You know what the fuck you're doing, do you?
What?
You're an amateur.
I'm your mistress. You'll obey me.
You're my nothing.
Wait a minute, I'm supposed to do this part.
You'll do what I want.
Did it? Get away from me.
I'll show you pain.
Wait, you
pain
hired...
hurts.
You hired a dominatrix. Wait.
The mayor's race heated up yesterday as the NAACP...
And the fantastic part where he's threatening her with violence, and he says, "I'll show you pain. Pain that hurts." And then he starts to strangle her, and you can tell he's really intensely strangling her because the hand around her neck starts to wiggle. It's like the extra was overacting.
Yeah, that's method acting right there.
After that, Ryder has decided he's going to join Squad. It didn't take him very long. It took him less than a scene. And we see him driving into the police station in that shitty convertible. Is the movie dated, or was that just a piece of shit car?
It's supposed to look like, he's had it for a long time and, it's old hot rod kind of bullshit.
I guess he was a beat cop, so maybe they didn't make a lot of money back then. I don't know. He's listening to the news on the radio, and there's a quote from G. Gordon Liddy's character.
The mayor's race heated up yesterday as the NAACP and the Gay and Lesbian Coalition led the way with other civil liberty groups in denouncing the Miller campaign as extremist, racist, and genocidal. The spokesman for the Miller campaign labeled the opposition as, quote, a bunch of pussies. They're the first to call a cop when someone walks across their lawn, unquote.
Now, this is where Ryder walks past the holding cell, and that's where Alfie the transvestite is.
Oh, please, stop hurting me. Yo, I know this one. Get him out of here.
Don't worry about him, Sarge. He's worthless scum.
I said get him out of there now.
And the cop goes...
I know this one. That's Demeen.
He's letting the guy go. I mean, fuck. Demeen all the way. It's freedom.
Yeah, I know this one. Did me raw in the sewers.
There's another pivotal scene that follows here. This is the introduction of the members of Squad, and this gives the MO of Squad. And then you have Sergeant Stoddard, who then gives Ryder the Cliff's Note version of it.
Sergeant Ryder, come in. Men, this is Sergeant Arliss Ryder. Sergeant, I'll give you a quick brief, and then you'll partner up with Detective Stoddard. Not a better man on the squad. Take a seat.
Thank you.
Our first general order is to identify any and all patterned criminal activity, burglary, drugs, vice, it doesn't matter, and marshal our combined forces. Our second general order is to preempt any potential criminal activity. However, these preemptions must focus on reasonably suspect elements.
Just the scum.
We barely got the support of the tax-paying community, and we don't want to blow it. There is no tolerance for accidents.
Don't go knocking off the middle class. Or else.
But some of the guys that are in there who are the Squad members, there's the one guy who looks like he was on Reno 911 with the cheesy cop mustache. And
him?
He had that toothpick jammed into his upper teeth. It looks so painful. And there's literally another guy who's holding a rifle. He is literally masturbating the rifle, the barrel of the rifle.
And why are they so angry?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So after that, it's G. Gordon Liddy's character, Police Chief Miller.
Wiggums.
He announces his run for mayor.
Well, this is it. Where it all began. Right here behind this desk. Sergeant, Precinct Captain, Chief of Police. And that's why I've come back here today to declare my candidacy for mayor. And my number one priority is going to be to get back into the streets and into the schools and into any breeding ground where crime and violence and perversion spew forth and strike back. It won't be easy, but it can be done. And the men of this precinct, the precinct that has been the proving ground for the Strike Squad program, the precinct that has had the maximum impact against crime, they can tell you how to do it.
And he turns to Stoddard and he goes, Sergeant. And he's been eating this fruit the whole time, and it's disgusting to watch. But he's got, what is that, a peach that he's holding?
I think so.
And so what do you do with Scum? And then he crushes the peach in his hand. And then G. Gordon Liddy's character turns to the journalist there and he goes,
Now, any questions?
And it's I think the best term for that would be cringe.
Yeah, that's where I raised my hand, because I don't know what's going on.
I think he means crush them.
Yeah. That was also at the point where I didn't know what his job was. I didn't understand the whole thing, what they were doing.
He was police chief running for mayor.
Okay, now it makes sense.
You should have asked me. I don't need Ritalin.
You told me you didn't tell me all that.
We haven't spoken about it.
Oh,
After that, now we have Ryder's time with Stoddard. And Stoddard is the grizzled veteran of 6 months on the Strike Squad.
Yeah.
Stoddard just starts talking about how he has this power and he can sense the scum and he knows where they are. And Ryder's being dismissive of him like, yeah, that's cute.
You see this out here? This is the jungle, and I'm the baddest son of a bitch in it. What, you think that's funny, huh? Yeah, well, let me tell you something. When I'm chasing down some scumbag, I don't stop at nothing till I get him, and I always get him.
Not unlike a Mountie, then.
Oh, screw the Mounties. The Mounties are pussies. I'm talking about Squad here. You see, in Squad, you start to sense.
What?
It's like I know where the scum is at. I can smell him. You know what I mean? Well, I can't explain it, but it don't matter anyway, because they ain't no match for me. And I'll tell you something else. My power.
Your what?
What's the matter with you? You deaf?
Oh,
I said my power is getting stronger all the time.
Well, that's good.
And then they show up at this neighborhood, and Stoddard just starts going straight towards this one place, and he's being followed by Ryder. Ryder's trying to stop him. And, this is Scum. Rules don't apply.
Bingo.
What's wrong?
Can't you feel it?
Feel what?
It.
Stoddard, man. Who are you doing? God damn it, Stoddard. What the hell you think you're doing? You're gonna get us busted.
Son of a bitch, let go.
Now, look, man, we got rules. We're cops. We just don't barge into people's houses.
Look, I said let go.
Bullshit, man. I'm not going down with you on this.
Then you go down with this.
Man,
This is war.
You stoned.
You understand that, rookie?
Jesus, come on.
This is human garbage. There's no rules. There's no talk. There's no bargains. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. What are you doing, man? Stoddard, God damn it. Would you stop?
And then he walks into this house, goes to a bedroom, and there's a guy with this fat chick all tied up, and he's just standing over top her going, ah! And I guess he's supposed to be a rapist. Stoddard walks in, he's got the shotgun. Now, if he had just shot the fucker right there, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But he hesitates. The bad guy jumps through a window. He's wearing like a loincloth or something. Nothing on his feet. He jumps through a window, glass everywhere. He starts running down the sidewalk, and Stoddard starts firing his shotgun. So you have the rapist on the left. You have an Asian gardener on the right. Stoddard fires the rifle one time, and both of them go down. And then he keeps firing, and he didn't seem to change the trajectory of the firearm. So then both the bad guy and the Asian gardener are dead. At this point, Ryder just gets 911. He's screaming at people.
Call an ambulance! Get on a boat! Don't you laugh at me! Don't you laugh at me! Come on, got 911! Get in the house! Get in the house!
You got two dead people. You're upset at the guy laughing at you.
Yeah.
The next scene takes place in the house with Kristen and Ryder. Kristen is chopping up meat like it owes her money. Just angrily. Just hacking at it. There's a phone ringing nobody's picking up. There's news playing in the background about stuff going wrong in the city. And there's Ryder just kind of staring into the distance, smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer. So Kristen finally picks up the phone and she goes, "Are you here?" And he takes the cigarette and he puts it in the ashtray and then he pours beer on top of it to put it out. Which, I don't know, seems a little low rent.
Okay.
Couldn't you snuff it out? It's a waste of beer.
Yeah, okay. It is.
It's a sin against humanity. And he has these visions in his head of Stoddard and something wrong. You can see them on the screen. He ends up going over to Stoddard's apartment, and they find him, and he's dead on the floor, just inside the bathroom. Two things happen I found interesting. As soon as Ryder walks in, the phone is ringing in Stoddard's apartment. Somebody picks it up and goes,
Stoddard, you got the wrong number. Captain?
And then one of the first of many times in the movie where one of the characters is talking off mic and you can barely hear them.
What's this about?
That's Stoddard.
What happened?
He took himself out.
He what?
He took himself out.
Why?
Which I thought is really high quality movie making right there. Put a fucking mic on the motherfucker. You can't afford two boom microphones?
No.
See, you did it right there too. Very good.
See, I was demonstrating.
So it turns out that Stoddard killed himself with an ice pick.
Which is not a good way to go.
Well, I think it would be considered self-harm.
Yeah.
So just as Ryder turns around and walks away, the sheet that had been atop the body is pulled back, and you can see that he was also picking at the wound in his lower back, just like Ryder had in that first scene with the doctor, where she says it's a superficial wound.
Yes.
That is what we call, in movie making, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Because then you know something's not right.
And the other thing in this is where Captain Quinton starts arguing with Ryder that Stoddard had to kill himself.
He shot an innocent person. How could he go on living? He had to kill himself. Our entire program depends on the support of the people. He knew that. He knew that.
Bullshit.
He had to kill himself.
You sound as crazy.
He had to. I'm sorry, Arliss. It's just that it hurts me. It hurts me personally to lose a single man. We're fighting against such bad odds.
Now, if you heard that, would you stay for 1 minute?
No.
It really doesn't make any sense.
Is this when the black guy flips out?
You mean Joker? Joker's coming up.
He's the black cop?
Yes.
I didn't know his name.
Joker Tatum.
No.
And just so happens, the next scene is the introduction of Sergeant Joker Tatum.
Joker Tatum.
Now, Joker...
Man on the edge.
Joker, you can tell he earned his nickname because he laughs maniacally constantly. He's never funny. He never tells a joke. He just laughs maniacally. You could have written 1 or 2 jokes for him. Maybe a knock-knock, something? Apparently, they've known each other for a long time. He reacquaints himself with Ryder, who is sitting on the hood of his car. He grabs him, pushes him down onto the car, and puts a gun to him.
Free! You pussy lip asshole, or I take out what your mama put out. No, don't talk. Yes, I'm your new partner. Thought you had gotten rid of me, huh?
Put that thing away, you crazy son of a bitch.
Getting old, Arliss. What you need is a dose of Joker Tatum.
Yeah, a dose of the class.
Let's go, man. I'll drive.
Odd way to reacquaint yourself with another human being.
Yeah, that's not being frank. I can't condone that.
They start driving the streets of Los Angeles, and Joker is laughing maniacally everywhere he goes. So they pull off to the side of the road, and he points across the street to this little cafe. And right outside the cafe is what he calls his snitch. And this is Raton.
All right, come on, that's enough. I love this job. No good. Watch over there. One with the thread. My snitch.
You think he knows anything about a shooter?
You better not.
Raton is going to play a major part in the movie. Raton, an interesting thing happens. He's talking to these 2 chicks who I guess are wayward souls. They don't have anywhere to go. And he's giving them food, and he's going, I'm going to take care of you. And he's just squeezing the tit of one of them. And then all of a sudden, Joker comes up behind him and grabs him. And without taking a look, Raton goes,
Hey, come on, Joker, man. Come on, man. Hey, come on. I wasn't doing nothing, Joker. I wasn't, man.
He somehow knew it was Joker. This begins the sexual assault against Raton by Joker, who is constantly making homoerotic conversation, and he takes Raton in the back of the police car, and he puts his hand right on his crotch and begins stroking him with his thumb. Did you see that part?
Yeah, another thing doesn't make any sense to me.
I love this piece of work. I appreciate what those hairless pussies don't. Nice clothes. Nice hair. Oh, yes. Nice everything. I love to jump in myself. Can I retire? Can I, huh? I'm gonna jump this tight ass.
Joker.
What do you want, Joker? What do you want, man?
And then he
How
throws...
could that be okay with anyone?
I don't know. It was a crime.
Wait.
So
nothing okay about it. What?
He takes Raton out of the car, and he's telling him, you got to give me someone. You got to give me something. I don't have anybody. And this guy Raton is just doing an impression of Cheech Marin. That's all it is.
Yeah, basically.
It was just Cheech from Cheech and Chong.
Sergeant Joker to you, Raton. Sweet Sergeant Joker. All right, Sergeant Joker. Sweet Sergeant Joker, man. Anything you want, man. Anything. I want you to give me a shooter. You know I don't deal with that kind of filth, Sergeant. Come on, you know I ain't got nothing, man. You know it, man. You know I'll give you my all, man, if I had it, man.
Don't pull my dick.
Hey, man, I ain't got nothing, man.
Give me a sleeve to jump on her. I'm gonna jump on you.
Joker, far enough. Come on.
Don't tell me shit. Don't you love me?
God damn it, give him something, man.
Won't you give it to him?
Give it to him, you son of a bitch.
Fuck more from you, son of a bitches.
All right, man. All right. I'll give you somebody you can jump on, man. But you ain't playing fair, Joker. You ain't playing fair at all, man. This ain't how it used to be.
So Raton finally gives some information. You don't hear what it is. After that, Ryder goes to visit Dr. Kane unannounced.
Unannounced.
She is standing there next to the examination table, and she's
completely naked.
No, come on.
Okay.
She is hooking something up that's electrical because it's got the electrical wires that she's tying around right around her neck. What we're going to find out is that Ryder has a device in his back that she put in there, the doctor put in there.
Mm-hmm.
What this device does is it turns his impulses that would normally be tempered by the rules of civility and makes his impulses more animalistic, so he becomes more violent.
Oh.
And that's what's happening to all of these cops in Squad. They're all having this device. That's why they're behaving in the manner that they are. That's why Stoddard just starts firing willy-nilly. I'm assuming Joker Tatum always laughed like that. But that's what's going on. Here's what I think that device is. That device that she's hooking up to herself.
Yeah.
I think it's the same device that she's putting into the cops, but she's essentially using it to masturbate. She's getting off. In the closing scenes, she's literally in a bathroom stall getting off using this device. So when she puts it into the cops, she turns it up for the violence. On herself, she's turning it up for the self-pleasure. And that's why at the beginning, when they're getting all affectionate with one another, she gets offended by it and goes, "Can you please?" Because she's apparently not getting the dick. So Joker and Ryder are riding along. It's nighttime, and they're following the lead that Raton gave them. They pull over, and they know who they're looking for. But Joker decides he's more interested in the prostitutes in front of him. One of them is Bernie. Out of nowhere, these two Asian street criminals appear, and one of them just starts talking shit to Joker and to Ryder for no apparent reason.
Hey, man, you didn't jam these hoes up for, man, huh?
Jealous?
Yeah, I'm jealous, chump. Because, you know, I don't do nothing but eat, sleep, rest, dress my best, get hoes and whores slam my bra doors, keep faggots and punks off in my trunk. What you tripping on, chump?
Watch the man.
Oh, what are you going to kick my ass, fuckface, huh? You know, I ain't about the romance. I'm down for the finance, sucker. You know, before you mess with me, you'd rather have sex with a hungry lion or walk through a black Muslim temple with a pork chop, bitch.
Joker doesn't take this well. He gets out of the vehicle. He grabs the one that was doing the talking, throws him on the hood, and begins to dry hump him. Really grinding in, too. The other one takes off running, so Ryder starts running after him, goes down an alleyway, and this is when Ryder has that same sense that Stoddard had. He somehow knew where the bad guy was. So he rounds a corner next to a dumpster, grabs the guy, pulls him out, pushes him to the ground, and begins kicking him in the gayest way I've ever seen a man kick anybody or anything. His hands are above his head as he kicks.
Of course.
You've got no leverage. It's the dumbest way I've ever seen anybody kick anything. So then he brings the runner, he brings him back, and Joker is still humping that poor Asian street criminal, just grinding into him. I think he finished.
No.
And so they take him away and the scene ends. You never hear anything about those two guys ever again. Ryder goes back to Dr. Kane and he says, "I need you to look at me. I went animalistic last night."
I don't find anything external, but to be sure, I'll schedule another x-ray.
I think you should know that I was chasing this kid down last night, and all of a sudden I went animal on him. I started to go in for the kill.
The body has every capacity to respond aggressively. It just needs to get the right message. It seems that's what's happened to you. A large part of our brain works to buffer messages of threatening stimuli, frustrating our ability to connect to our deep animal responses. Just imagine if we were able to transform those messages, to take them from the deep animal part of our brain, recharge them and send them back. Then man could become this unstoppable fighting machine.
So this scene was fantastic, where Joker has been given information by the Asian street criminal that he was dry humping on the hood. He's been given information that Raton is the shooter. You were asking about that before?
Yeah.
Who the shooter was? It was Raton, who later admits it. Yes,
he shot the guy on the TV antenna.
He shot everybody.
He shoots everybody.
Everybody. So the cops that are in Squad, Teen Jesus, Ryder, everybody, he's the shooter. Now, when you see the shooter crossing the street in that first scene with Teen Jesus, when he goes up to the roof and shoots, it's somebody who has the build of Wings Hauser, not Raton. But still, apparently Raton did it.
The stunt double had to do something.
Ryder goes into this restaurant to get some food, and he leaves Joker in the car. Joker immediately gets out and runs to this little booth, and Raton is banging a chick in there. How he directed Ryder to go to this one location so he could find Raton he was looking for, I don't know. But magically, Raton is there. Raton is fully clothed, so apparently he just has his junk out through the fly. Joker pulls him out. As he's being pulled out, he's dutifully tucking himself back into his pants. Zips up, very gentlemanly. Joker takes him, throws him down onto the pavement, and then climbs right on top of his crotch and sits down.
They're lying, man. They're trying to protect themselves,
man. Did you see that?
They told me you were shooter.
I think he was grinding, too.
Yeah, I believe he was.
And he's talking about sweet Raton. And I want to hear that you love me.
Tell me something nasty.
He's saying, you were ratted out, and he takes this long wire he's holding and he wraps it around one foot.
Get in the car.
And that's when Ryder comes out and pushes him off and says, "Get in the car." So while Ryder is talking to Raton saying, "Hey man, you got to give him what he wants. He's going to keep going after you." Joker then takes the other end of this wire and wraps it around something underneath the car, gets in the car and just drives off and starts dragging Raton on the street. Now, I don't think it would take very long being dragged on pavement before you would reach skin, regardless of the thickness of the suit jacket you're wearing.
Or the wire would come off underneath the car.
Yeah, anything would happen. And you can see as he's being dragged, he's obviously on top of something. He's not being dragged on bare skin. And in one scene, you can see he has what appear to be rollerblades on his feet.
Yeah, he's like one of those mechanics creepers.
Dragged for a little bit. And then it goes to a shot of Raton, and he just has blood all over his face. His face hasn't been touched by anything, but he's got blood on his face.
Right.
His back? Fine. So then Joker drives him onto a side street and drives straight into a telephone booth where there's a civilian there. The civilian, a very good job by the stunt guy. I don't know how far they went, but Ryder just runs up on top of him in seconds. They had to go a few blocks, and Ryder's there in seconds.
Well, he's a super cop.
Yeah, apparently.
Because he has a thing in his back.
And he goes and looks and immediately knows the civilian is dead. So then the security camera shows up again, and the guys taking the video go, "This is getting out of control. Just take the video so we can get out of here."
And what's on the video?
That is, remember, later in the movie, Ryder comes upon the video. One says Tatum, the other one says Stoddard. And it has the footage of them killing a civilian, and it has the footage of them killing themselves.
Okay.
You should call your doctor and get a prescription.
I never remember them playing this video.
Ryder did. That's another scene that's fantastic. It makes no sense. None of it makes sense, but...
So now the whole squad is dead, except for...
There's only two.
Chicklets O'Hurlihan, the main guy.
That would have been a better name for the character.
Yeah. Gonna go talk to the captain in a completely unintelligible way. You can't understand a word he says.
Hey, Captain, let me make it spit for you.
They should have got Mr. Ed. He would have been more clear to listen to.
Or maybe they should just put some peanut butter in Wings Hauser's mouth.
Yeah.
So we know what happens after that, because Quinton's already said it before. Joker killed a civilian. He has to kill himself.
He had to kill himself. He has to.
Right, he has to.
So, of course, that's what happens. Now, initially, all you see is Joker just running around acting like an asshole. And then you see him hitting himself with a knife or an ice pick again or something. I don't know. And then you just see him fall. Later on, you get to see what really killed Joker. Do you know what really killed him?
No.
He falls face first into a hot grill, and he burns his face and upper body to a crisp.
But doesn't have the wherewithal to stand up.
Nope. Now, maybe he was already dead. I don't know, but he definitely cooked himself. After this, there's a little more sermonizing by Reverend Money, where he says that sin is in various places, including the buttocks.
Where is sin, Reverend Money? Where is sin, they ask me. Sin is everywhere. But where is it most of all, Reverend Money? Between the legs. The legs, Reverend Money? Yes. And the loins. And the buttocks. But sex is good, Reverend Money. Ain't it good?
I don't know if you knew that. That morning shit is a sin, Matt.
Yeah.
So a little fast forward through a little section. Ryder is banging his chick, and she gets all freaked out. You never know why. She walks out of the bedroom. That's when the sheet's on the floor out of nowhere, right in the hallway.
You're hurting me! Now stop! Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
Kirsten. Look at me!
Which I guess
like all of a sudden she's afraid of him.
And what happened? I don't know.
I would guess he bit her.
He's trying to keep his teeth
handing him
in.
a sugar cube, and he about took a finger off. That scared me.
So Ryder then goes to Quinton, and he says, I want out. And Quinton, that selfish bitch.
Oh, Arliss, no. Don't do this to me, not now. Not when the entire Strike Squad program is hanging by a thread.
Captain, you're not the one whose old lady won't have anything to do with him. You sure as hell not the one whose partners keep ending up butchered.
Arliss, I promise you, whatever happened to Joker, whatever happened to Starter, it's not gonna happen to you. I promise you that.
You promise?
Yes!
Don't do what?
Quit.
Quit his job?
Yeah, he doesn't want to be in Squad
Isn't that
anymore.
the source of their entire attention?
He doesn't want to be it anymore. He wants to go to being a regular cop again.
All this aggression is what was causing the problem with the girlfriend to begin with, right? So why don't quit this squad and then everything will be fine?
That's what he wants to do.
Oh, well, all of a sudden she's the idiot.
So then he goes back to the doctor, and he needs her release from Squad, medical release, so he can go back to being a regular cop. And then she starts giving him shit about it. Why a doctor would give a shit, I don't know.
So, Captain Quinton says you're considering a transfer. It's kind of a critical time now, isn't it? But with all the violence out there, public criticism of the program, he needs every good cop. Is there anything I could do to change your mind?
Just give me my release right now.
Very well. But I still want that x-ray.
No, I don't think so. It's not necessary.
It is if you want to continue with the department.
And so he relents, and so she takes that device again and runs it down his back, and that again turns up the violence within him. Because every time she runs that instrument over that device in his lower back, he becomes more violent.
Well, okay.
Starting to make more sense?
I had no idea why she was doing that.
So after this is a few scenes with Bernie. They just keep going back to Bernie for some reason.
Because she's hot.
She's not bad. She's still alive.
Yeah.
Still alive. 62, by the way.
I know.
She doesn't look bad for an old broad.
No.
I wouldn't fuck her, but you would.
Yeah, you say it like it's a bad thing.
Only for her.
Oh, yeah, only for her.
So he's trying to ask questions of her about Raton. He picks her up and they drive away and they go in this alleyway. She said some vitally important things in this scene. The things that really shed light onto what's going on.
My boobs are fake.
Why would you get droopy breast implants?
I don't. Because some guys are into that. Like a tennis ball in a sock. Oh, look.
He says he's looking for Raton, and she says, haven't you guys done enough to him?
4 months ago, my partner, Joker Tatum, was shot. And I think your goddamn friend Raton did the shooting.
What? First of all, that little shit is not my friend.
Really?
Really. And second of all, if Raton did do it, he only did it for somebody else's money. And what's him blowing away a nothing cop?
For somebody else's money. Now, at first, you're inevitably going to think currency, cash. I think that's wrong. Somebody else's money is reverend money, M-O-N-Y. the preacher. That's why they gave him the name Money.
So the main bad guy is the preacher.
They eventually turn on him, too. So who is the main bad guy? I don't know if the main bad guy's actually in the movie. Could be one of those things where you never get to the top.
Yeah, I see.
But I do think I think that line directly relates to the street preacher and not to Cash. Why else do you call the fucker Reverend Money?
Yeah.
So just as Ryder and the whore, just as Ryder and...
Jeez. Okay.
It's Reverend Money coming out in me.
Somebody's got some aggression.
Just as Ryder and Bernie are about to kiss, this dude, this shirtless guy, jumps up onto the hood of the car, starts yelling at them, spits on the windshield, and then licks it up. An interesting move. And then goes, come on, let's fight. Bernie's trying to tell Ryder, it's not worth it, don't do it, come on, we got something going on here. Ryder gets out, and the shirtless guy's got a knife, but it's nothing for Ryder. He was just turned up on the violence scale by the doctor the day before. So all he does is just grab the guy and pound his head into a wall a few times, then he falls to the ground and it's done. It's not much of a fight. And then he turns, and of course, Bernie's long gone. Now, to reinforce...
Is that the end of Bernie?
Oh, no, Bernie goes on all the way to the end. She does not survive. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. The hooker dies. I've never seen that before. Usually they get married and live happily ever after.
Sex is pornography in the flesh. Sex is stench in the nostrils of the law. You cannot dabble in sin, and you cannot dabble in sex. Satan is never satisfied until he has utterly destroyed those who succumb to his temptation.
And then it's followed by this particularly creepy scene, and it doesn't make any sense. In this rundown shithole city, Ryder enters the police squad steam room.
The steam room.
With two dudes. There's Captain Quinton, and then there's some other guy.
Whose mustache is a crime, by the way. That's a 70s porn stash if I ever saw one.
I've never seen anybody with a crease in their cheek like that. It's amazing.
It is.
You could hide contraband in that crease. So Ryder comes back, and, now his violence has been turned up by the doctor. He's committed an act of violence for some asshole. He was about to get it on with Bernie. So he's all back in line with Squad. He wants to stay.
Captain? Yeah. You want to see me?
Oh, Ryder. Yeah, take a load off your body. He's all right. It's okay. How's the arm?
My arm is fine. It's good.
Arliss, that's your request for a
let's just forget that. I'm staying.
Listen, nobody wants you out on those streets more than I do, but unless you feel right...
Captain, you don't understand. That's where I belong. I belong on the streets. I mean, that's where I belong. All right? Is that all? All right.
So he leaves, and then it's G. Gordon Liddy's character is the other guy who was covered up. And, see? You can speed up the recovery. It's okay. Nothing about that great impression?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Thank you.
I thought you were playing a movie clip.
And the next scene, we find out something very important. Did you know that Kristen, the girlfriend of Sergeant Ryder, did you know that she was a world-class kickboxer?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, you could never tell. All she does is kick a heavy bag a couple times. I was reading about the story.
Oh, yeah, she was in her gym. She owned a gym or something like that.
I guess. She was in a gym.
Because she wouldn't let him in.
But yeah, I was reading the story about the making of the movie, and yes, the character is a world-class kickboxer.
Started banging on the door demanding a carrot.
And make it a big one, not one of the baby carrots.
Yes. This is my serious face.
Don't try, I can't do happy. The smile doesn't translate.
Yeah, world-class kickboxer is afraid to open the door. Just kick him.
All she does is just kick the bag a bunch of times.
What do you want?
What do I want? I want to know why you're not home. That's what I want.
Well, why aren't you home?
We just cut the crap. You come outside, we'll talk about it, and then we'll go home, right?
Oh, and what then? You don't need me. Everything that you want is out there in the streets. And right now, everything that I want is right in here.
That's bullshit, and you know it.
You don't get it.
I said it's bullshit.
You hurt me! And if and when I do decide to go home, I don't want to see you there.
All right, can we just calm down? Don't you walk away from me. Don't you walk away from me! Kristen! God damn you! Kristen!
And one of several times where he takes a lit cigarette, which he never appears to smoke, and he throws it in anger, which is a little wasteful. The shit was still expensive in 90. And, of course, he leaves, and she walks over, kicks the heavy bag a couple times, and then has a cry.
Yeah. Again, a simple solution. Just quit the police force.
We don't even have to do that. Just go back to being a street cop.
Yeah.
Again, for some reason, they return to Bernie. They can't keep away from this prostitute.
Because.
Now, this time, Ryder fucks her.
What?
Yeah, he fucks her in a dirty alleyway.
Of course.
On the hood of his police cruiser.
A dirty alleyway.
He's a romantic.
You did see her boobs. Or did I hallucinate that as well?
No, you saw them. And of all the tits to see in that movie, you want to see Kristen's. Those things are beautiful. I've seen the cleavage. I've seen half of them. Earlier in another scene, she had said, don't go after Raton because there are guys much higher up the food chain, and they're in the S&M, and they take you in the back door. She didn't mean it that way.
No.
And so Ryder starts saying, these S&M guys, give me a name. Who is it? And she goes, you don't want to know. He takes out his gun and he puts it up to her face and says, yes, I do, or something. She then takes the barrel and puts it in her mouth.
Jesus Christ. So hard.
Yeah, compared to what? Cops, man. You think we're all just like animals you can use whenever you want. Well, some of us get free. One day I'll get free.
So,
compared to my junk.
I don't know if he actually fucked her or not. Maybe he was mushing it.
No.
I don't know.
Why won't this work? Oh, and then Bernie the hooker goes up to Jigo and Liddy.
No.
What?
Kristen does. That's later on. Then, out of nowhere, Bernie gets out of the car, and there's Raton, who Sergeant Ryder has been looking for. Now, Raton is
oddly enough, he lived after being drugged by the car.
Oh, yeah, easily. But here, they're trying to depict it in reality. He is wearing a suit of gauze.
Yes, he showed up dressed like the mummy.
Yeah.
Everything except his face.
That's the only part that had blood on it when he was being dragged. Yeah. So Ryder gets out of the police cruiser. Raton sees him and starts to run. So Ryder starts running after him. Raton pulls out a gun and starts firing. The first shot misses. The second shot hits Ryder, who continues to run just as fast.
Yes, because he's a super cop.
They make it down an alleyway. Ryder catches him, grabs him, throws him to the ground. The gun goes off to the side. And they're right there in front of Reverend Money and his little street congregation.
But he wasn't there.
Who?
Money.
Yes, he was. He was there sermonizing.
He wasn't even in it.
Matt, I watched the movie 15
only
fucking
saw
times.
On the TV.
Matt, I watched the movie 15 fucking times.
Don't tell me you're more tired of this movie than me.
No, I watched it again.
Oh, jeez.
Now Reverend Money, who was delivering a sermon, is looking at them. He begins speaking in tongues. While Ryder, with his gun drawn, straight at Raton, is telling him, I know you're the shooter.
No! You're the one who laid to my partner? No! Goddamn liar, are you? Are you? Yes! Yes what? Yes what? Yeah, man, yes what? I was crazy, man. I didn't know what I was shooting, man. I swear, man, I didn't know. I did it, man. I'm innocent. Who paid for it? I can't, man. Who gave the order? God damn it! Who gave the order? Who gave the order? Who gave the goddamn order? No, you fucking cops are crazy, man. That's right. Who gave the order? Miller did, man. Fucking Miller, man. Miller. Be gone, beast of Satan.
And he gives up Miller. Miller told him to do it. And that's when the preacher tells Ryder, all right, leave. And Ryder just turns around and walks away. Reverend Money turns to Raton and says,
Come, sinner, come, my son. Wash in the waters of everlasting life. Wash and never look on sin again. Your ass.
And that's when Reverend Money, who for some reason has a gallon container of gasoline next to him, opens it up, throws it onto Raton, a couple of good splashes. For some odd reason, there's a torch nearby. He's handed the torch, and then he sets Raton on fire.
Then burn in the fire. Burn, sinner, burn. Burn and be there.
And this, another fantastic scene. Raton is burning alive, just flailing his arms, and this is what he says. I'm burning!
Yeah.
I guess that's for the visually impaired.
Yeah, so he was really rethinking that bodysuit of gauze.
That tinder.
Yeah.
Couple other people get flame on him just before the scene ends. Ryder goes back to the clinic because he's got a gunshot wound. And this is when he notices that the medical clinic, Dr. Kane's medical clinic, is on the opposite side of the street of Chief of Police Miller's mayoral campaign offices.
Which never seemed to bother him before.
I don't think he ever noticed because you never see him look in that direction. So he goes in and she sews him up.
Gives him some oats. Brushes his mane and tail and sends him on his way, more violent than before.
I thought it was amazing they had a feedback his size.
Yeah.
It's a big head on that man. So he's saying he's got to go tell his captain. She says, no, you go straight home. So Ryder leaves. He gets into his vehicle, and he's looking over at Miller's campaign offices there. And he sees the doctor cross the street and go over. She's there for a couple seconds. She leaves and she drives away. And that's when that van pulls up. You hear that same sound effect before of the same sound they used when they were taking the surveillance videos. So you know that that's the surveillance video people.
Because most people wouldn't pick that up, including me.
Well, you watch it 15 times, you pick up subtleties. Then Ryder harkens back to Bernie's comments about taking them in the back door. Not what you think.
Yeah.
And then Ryder decides he's going to do a little snooping. He has a healing wound in his front and his back. He's just been shot in the arm. So what does he do? He climbs a fire escape.
Of course.
And he just happens to know exactly the floor and office for Chief Miller. So he goes into the office and he opens up one cabinet and there's all this bondage shit in it. And the look on his face is hilarious. You should watch it again just for that. It's surprise and repulse all at the same time. It was his best acting.
Yeah.
He goes to the cabinet next to him, and that's where he sees the videotapes. It has Tatum and Stoddard. And he watches the Stoddard tape, and he sees the civilian killed, and then he sees Stoddard kill himself. And then he puts in the Tatum tape, Joker Tatum, and that's when you see Joker cook his own face and torso.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody comes into the office, so he hides. The guy leaves something on Miller's desk and walks out. Wings Hauser, or Ryder, he walks up and he sees a videotape that has his name on it. Doesn't watch it. Find that weird?
No, of course not.
Now, do you know what it is?
Who knows?
Do you know what's on the video? Because the other videos are of the police officers killing civilians. So now he has a videotape of him. And what it's going to turn out to be, as we'll find out shortly, the Reverend Money, when he burned Raton and those other people caught fire, Ryder is going to be blamed for that in part. So that's what that is.
Leading off the news this hour is a report of a tragic fire on a downtown street which killed several people and injured many others. The incident began when transient minister Reverend J.J. Money went berserk and set on fire a member of his congregation, one Rosie Raton Lopez, an out-of-work car salesman. Lopez was reputed to be a key police informant of Strike S.Q.U.A.D, the controversy-plagued program of candidate Jim Miller. Also sought in connection with this tragedy is Sergeant Arliss Ryder, himself a member of what is fast becoming known as the LAPD's own hit squad. Elsewhere in the city.
So that's the beginning. The only thing missing from that videotape now would be his suicide.
Gotcha.
And then there's the manila envelope that has the X-ray, and he pulls it out, and he can see that there's a device implanted in his lower back. And so now he understands what's going on. When she puts that electromagnetic device on him, she's dialing up the violence, and so now he's figured it all out. So now he just has to figure out how to resolve the issue.
Right.
So he goes back home. Kristen is watching television, and they're talking about how Ryder is a wanted man.
Fire that claimed several innocent lives. The notorious police program is the brainchild of mayoral candidate Jim Miller. State
Get out of here.
Are already
Get out!
I said I need you.
Get away from me. You're crazy!
Look at these.
Get away from
Look
me!
at these. Look at them. Take it.
Elsewhere in the news,
That doctor planted a device in my back, and it's turned me into a goddamn animal.
When it was discovered that the videotape on China that he helped a substitute teacher to screen for students was recorded of gay male sex. Several scenes.
And she instantly goes, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is?
So the next scene, he's in the kitchen, and now it's the scene from the surveillance video again. You hear the sound effect in the background, and it's taken through the shades of the kitchen of Ryder's house, and he's just throwing shit all over the place. It really looks totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just throwing tables and chairs and everything all over the place, and then he takes a knife, he drops to his knees, and you hear him. So, okay, the surveillance guys go, all right, the fucker's dead. So they start to walk into the house, I guess, to get more footage. And Kristen is hiding behind the door with a frying pan. Can you think of anything more stereotypical?
Yeah.
That's like a 1940s or 50s sitcom. So she hits the first guy in the stomach, then over the head or something like that. He's down on the ground. And the guy behind him, Ryder, he's on the ground like he's dead. He rolls over and shoots the guy. One guy just got a frying pan to the head. The other guy's dead. So now this means that whoever wants to watch this videotape's not going to know how it turned out. They're just going to assume that he's dead because they don't have the videotape itself.
Right.
And then Kristen's going, you can't do this on your own. I know, that's why you're going to help me. So they make their way to the police station. Meanwhile, cut to Dr. Kane. She's in the restroom of the police station. She's got this device, and I'm positive it's the same device she's implanted in these cops. And she's moaning and writhing. She's wearing a lab coat and garters.
As all professionals should do.
And she's making all this fucking noise, and in a dirty bathroom stall. I think she may have dirtied it.
Ugh.
Cut to Quinton. Quinton comes into the station, and all of his police officers are there, all the squad members. He says, we're going after the scum. We're taking everything out.
We're going to clean this city up. I want the streets swept of all vermin, dope dealers, whores, kids, and any other scum that infests our city. Those are your orders. Strike S.Q.U.A.D, yourself, the rest of you move out.
Then Ryder and Kristen walk into the police station. They've heard everything that Quinton had to say. And they hear Dr. Kane making so much fucking noise she's about to finish. They burst into the bathroom, and they ruin it for her. She didn't get that final O. And Ryder grabs her and is, look what you did to me! You did this to all of this, you son of a bitch! And she immediately rats out Quinton and Miller. It doesn't take her half a second before she rats them out.
Miller's the top. What the hell's he thinking, huh? He can wipe out half the city in order to save his ass, huh? Tell me! You afraid, huh? You scared to death I might blow up right in your face, huh? You're the one who should know. You lit the fuse, didn't you? How's it go, huh? How's it go? That? Like that? You goddamn bitch! How many cops died because of you? Because of your goddamn knife! How many?
Dr. Kane starts screaming for Quinton, just screaming his name. He runs into the bathroom, gun drawn. Dr. Kane gets loose. Kristen is in front of Ryder, and Quinton tells her to get out of the way. And Dr. Kane's saying, kill him, kill him.
You wouldn't want that, would you? I mean, you just come by to clean up the mess, right? Well, let me tell you about your program. It doesn't work. It's out of control.
Kill him for God's sake!
Shut up! Shut up! Arliss,
You know what it's like out there. We had to do something. We had to get an edge. And it did work. We could control it. But then she and Miller started to push it too fast.
Kill him! Kill him!
Shut up! Hold it! Hold it!
That's when Wings Hauser, that's when Sergeant Ryder, shows that he has had the device removed from his body.
Turning human impulses into animal ones. Well, there's your goddamn edge.
And Quinton's like, oh, so you're going to be okay.
It doesn't matter if you can't.
And Dr. Kane says, no, it doesn't make any difference. He's still a killer.
And we could have made a difference in this city, but...
Well, Quinton won't have anything. He holsters his weapon. Kane grabs the weapon from him and tries to kill Ryder, but Quinton gets in the way, and she kills him. Ryder then grabs her, throws her into the same toilet stall where she had been getting off. The device falls into the toilet, still connected to her, and it's the most erotic electrocution you've ever seen. As you just see these gartered legs just flopping around. It is beautiful. I finished twice. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
I expected at least an ew.
Well, I'm punch drunk at this point.
It's only been 2 hours.
I know.
Usually go 5.
I know, but I haven't eaten dinner. My sugars have crashed.
Oh, I forgot you've got a thing.
Yeah, I got a deadly disease. Thank you very much for reminding me.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez. You want some energy? There you go.
You should eat more often, man.
I think I'm mentioning carrots and sugar cubes. I'm hungry.
Let's see how much we have left. Skip.
Then they ripped it out of his back, and everything was fine.
Ryder and Kristen walk out of the bathroom. It just sounds like a war zone outside. They walk outside, and there's just a stack of bodies. It looks like the people were lined up against a wall and just shot.
Yes.
And one of them?
One of them was the writers of his movie.
And one of them, unfortunately, is Bernie the prostitute.
Yes. And don't forget Mr. Hauser's acting coach.
Well, he committed suicide.
Yeah. We should make a movie, and then the title character should be, his name should be Wings Hauser. That's it.
Well, he's going to be featured on the advertisements for this episode heavily.
Oh, okay. Big giant teeth.
Oh, yeah. Chiclet.
Take out ad space on those things. So Bernie is dead, but yet we did get to see her boobs.
Yes. So not all is lost. She lived for something.
Yeah.
And the last thing we hear from her is a voiceover from earlier in the movie where she goes,
One day I'll go free.
I was like, shit, you could have done that years ago.
What she meant was free of syphilis.
I don't think it's going to happen, Bernie.
Yeah.
So here's the conclusion of the movie. So what's G. Gordon Liddy's character's name?
G. Gordon Liddy.
I have to know what it is.
It's Reynolds or Ryan or... No? Smith?
Okay.
Jones.
Miller.
Police
Chief Miller is watching the news, and then we see Ryder and Kristen outside his offices. She's dressed all whorishly, and Ryder's telling her, go to the front, I'll meet you up there. So she goes to the front, and they've got surveillance cameras there, so nobody can get in unless Miller gives the okay.
Right. And, of course, no one saw him drop her off.
Oh, no. Because they only have surveillance cameras right at the door. Nowhere else.
Yeah.
That would be wasteful. Taxpayer money. So these guys with machine guns at the front door, they say, no, you can't come in. And Kristen goes, he's expecting me. And she looks up at the camera, and, of course, Miller just lets her come in.
Of course.
So she walks into his office, and she's putting on the dominatrix routine. A lot better than that art school student. Then it was the best part of the movie. She's admonishing him for something.
Turn around, pig, against the desk. Faster, pig.
You better know what you're doing.
I'll teach you to be smart with me.
With you.
You'll never do it again. You'll never talk back to your mistress. Say it.
No.
Say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
You'll never make me.
You'll never do it again. Say it. Say it. Say it.
Yes. 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 I'll never do it again. 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 Never. I'll never do it again.
It's the greatest.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Ryder, who's more hurt than he has been in the entire movie, still climbs the fire escape in record time.
Of course.
So he's got the surveillance camera, and he videoed that last part where he's cackling in delight with the supposed prostitute behind him. And he's like going, we got you now, fucker. And then, a fight ensues. Miller knocks out Christian because she's a world-class kickboxer.
Yeah.
And then Ryder runs off and goes up to the roof, and Miller follows behind him. So Ryder is on the roof, slinking around the corners, staying in the darkness. And then Miller, who brought a whip with him, who doesn't have a gun. It's amazing. There's nothing of firearms around him. The fucker doesn't have a gun, but he has a whip. And he's above Ryder, and he whips him around the neck and starts choking him. And then Ryder pulls on the whip and pulls Miller down onto a satellite dish. So then Ryder goes over to a circuit breaker. The circuit breaker is in the on position.
Yeah, it's already on.
He pulls it down into the off position, and what happens? Miller is electrocuted. How would you...
And how was he electrocuted on a plastic satellite dish?
With a circuit in the off position.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So then Miller's dead. All the bad guys are dead. Ryder walks up to the edge of the building. Kristen follows behind. They stand there, and then you hear a talk show. And this goes to show that Miller might not be the top of the food chain either, because like everybody else, the media says he killed himself. Everybody who's on the bad side commits suicide. Yeah, covering up. And then, gloriously, finally, the movie ends.
And I can't believe they didn't make a sequel to that.
The Last Sugar Cube.
Yeah. Ryder Strikes Back, Part 2.
Ryder's Revenge. Return of Ryder.
Cookies.
Revenge of the Ryder.
Yeah.
Just go through all the Star Wars movie titles. That's the whole fucking movie. Review that, fuckers.
What other movies did Igor Liddy make? Or is that the only one?
No, I think he was more TV.
Yeah, I would think so.
Airwolf, Miami Vice, The Highwaymen, The New Adventures of Bean Baxter. It's Perry Mason, TV movie, The Case of the Telltale Talk Show Host. Say that fast.
You just did. How to Die on a Plastic Dish. And he was very convincing as he was flopping all around.
Well, just like that hand around the art student's neck.
Yeah.
He just wiggle. That means it's rough.
Oh, don't forget the very special episode of Blossom. Where he played creepy Uncle Pete.
That's where he taught Blossom how to put a lighter underneath her wrist and not flinch.
Yeah. Well, Blossom, this is why your middle finger's longer than your first.
It's a very special Blossom.
Yes.
Now that we've finished the review, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate?
1 to 10, it would have to be a minimum of a -6.
Street Asylum. -6, come on, it's better than that.
0.
No, there's no such thing as a 0.
All right, if it has to have a number, then it's 1.
Come on.
It's the worst movie I've ever seen.
There's no way that's real.
I seriously had to struggle to watch this thing again.
You and I watched a Chuck Norris movie literally in fast forward.
Yeah, and that was better.
No.
Yeah, half the movie they were driving from one spot to the next.
We literally watched it in fast forward. We missed nothing.
Yeah, I know. And I'm telling you, that was better.
At
least when they finally did pull up somewhere, they started fighting.
I'm going to give my rating then.
Okay.
Watching it one time, 4.
Ugh.
Watching it 15
People
times.
are really going to question you.
Watching it 15 times, 5.5. I've seen far worse movies. Can't think of one off the top of my head.
This movie was painful. The kind of pain that hurts.
Shut Up, I'm Talking with Matt Powers and Larry King Guy. Available on YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and Audible.